we have former Outback Bowl MVP Nick Easley with us.
Go, baby.
Star.
Thanks for having me, fellas. I'm excited. It's been too long. Been a long time coming.
And we'll get this out of the way. The boys in the group chat are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
Shout out Dom. Shout out Bish. Nick.
Henry,
Nico.
even though he never responds.
I was about to say Nick, but you're here. Nico.
Old
fuck
Neeks.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've had Nico on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bunch.
We've tried to have Dom on too, and Dom just somehow he's gonna be pissed. I just know that for a fact.
Seems like Dom does some podcasts here and there. He'd be a guy to have.
That's right. We got the best one in the group chat.
I agree. I'm sorry you guys had to have, well, Nico's been there for like 8 years, so you had to have him on, you know.
Yeah. It was a necessity. It was kind of just needed.
Also, if anyone's seen Henry, he might be missing.
Henry's locked in, dude. Henry's freaking – I was just texting him today. Lent starts tomorrow, and we have a Lent thing that we're doing that we're holding each other accountable for.
I like it. I was – so in Wrigleyville, so for the Northwestern Iowa game, I was probably the most happy to see Henry just because he – I was happy to see everybody we had that weekend, obviously, but Henny just doesn't – well, he doesn't have Snapchat anymore. I don't think he has – does he have Instagram?
He does, but I don't think he checks it a lot.
Okay.
He's definitely gone 0 dark 30 on this.
Yeah, so I never hear from him because pretty much the only time I hear from any of you guys is in our group chats and stuff. And
yeah, I know. So it's usually the Snapchat one, which he deleted Snapchat a while ago. But that was the first time we'd been together since I don't know, like maybe
the Outback Bowl,
2018. So it's been fucking
years. I'm sure we were all together, I guess, like that next semester times. But
Dom
was gone, wasn't he?
Dom was gone.
Yeah. Bish was gone.
Bish left.
Yeah.
I think it was just you and me.
Yeah, 2017, 2018.
Yeah. Dude, it's Forrest, I'll send you a picture you can tweet out. Yeah. There's a picture of us from when I was a freshman. Were you a junior?
Yeah.
Me and Henry were freshmen. Ease was a junior. Dom was a junior. Bish was a junior.
Is it Halloween? Is it a Halloween picture?
No. Well, that wasn't Halloween because I didn't go out for Halloween.
Okay.
I didn't do anything my freshman year.
I thought we had a Halloween. No,
that was it was just a party at Dom's house. I'm thinking
you're right.
I advertised it.
Back when you had the long blonde hair.
I had the flow. I had the Ninja Turtles jersey on.
Oh, dude. You used to wear the most egregious shit of all time. Like you just
you know why? Because I fucking knew it looked good.
Dude, I think I stole a pair of your like super high top Vans and like because I needed shoes one day.
Dude.
And I think I just didn't give them back because I'm like, no one should wear these. Like these shouldn't be in your wardrobe. So I just I'm gonna do you a favor by not giving you these back.
Dude, I would wear it on the moped. So like it just added. Maybe it canceled out. Maybe because it looked so shitty. But then the blue moped kind of looked like it was meant to be like.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I also stole your basketball shoes one time.
You did? Which ones?
You had a pair of like gray and like kind of like light blue, like Nike Hyper Dunks, maybe.
No,
I think I borrowed them to go play ball at the rec, and I never gave them back.
They were Steph Curry's.
Were they? I don't remember.
They're my high school basketball shoes. That is so fucked up thinking about it because I've been looking for those, and I had to buy a new pair. And I actually forgot the last pair in Charleston, so I don't have any basketball.
I got a pile of shit at my parents' place. They might still be there, dude. I could maybe bring them to Chicago for you.
No, they're probably
that'd be perfect timing. Our league starts March 18th.
Ooh, you guys are in a little league?
Yeah, it's horrible timing for the league though, because that's the day after St. Patty's Day.
Yep.
Yeah, Sunday league.
We're gonna be like thrown up. No, it's a Monday league.
Okay.
I think St. Patty's Day is technically on a Sunday this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so our body will be in shambles on.
You'll be hurting.
Yeah, from Saturday.
Coop's like a real like hard hungover guy too. He's just a baby, so like he'll be like Jack, like me and you we'll tough our way through it. Coop's gonna be like, I can't play. I'm hurting. I can't do it.
He's been a menace.
I've been throwing up. I know. I feel like Coop's grown up a lot the last couple of years.
Chicago Coop.
Dude, I'll be 100% honest with you. This is the most I've gone out in my life.
In Chicago?
Not even close. In a month.
Did you go out a lot in Charleston or no?
Every weekend, but like I never drank. I mean, we did like work happy hours, but it'd be like 2 or 3 beers, and then you go home. Here it's like we'll do happy hours, turns into going out, and then that's like a Thursday, and then Friday morning you wake up, you have work, go out Friday, go out Saturday, and then I've had a couple like 4-day weekends.
Yeah,
like I haven't had a weekend where I've gone less than 3 days.
Coop, maybe you could probably relate to this pretty well. That is one of the hardest adjustments after like playing sports in college or like whatever it is you get so used to like treating your body so well and only drink, dude, even if you were going out a lot, you were going out like once a week.
It was easy because you're in shape.
Yeah, and you're in great shape. And now it's like if you're not careful, especially working in your insurance or sales job or whatever, you got a company happy hour here on Tuesday. You could go out with a couple friends on Thursday. Pretty soon you're drinking 4 days a week,
like consistently, and like
and that's how you get fat and ugly.
I know, dude. I know. I'm trying. That's why for Lent I'm only gonna go out. I'm not gonna go out during the week. I've made that promise. I'm trying to only go out once a weekend, which with Forrester it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, Jack's a little party animal, dude.
Jack's
Coop's been the bad influence.
I have been really bad. I've been really bad, but I'm back. And it's not even summer yet, which is really bad. I haven't been in Chicago in summer ever.
Summertime shy, baby.
Summertime shy. Cue the Kanye West song. That'd be sick if you put it in here without getting copyrighted.
All right. Do you want me to put it on?
No, don't do it. You'll get sued.
It's all right, man. We got lawyers. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. We have a Melrose lawyer.
Yeah, sure. We could take down Kanye.
Weingartner.
Yeah.
So, Ease, what are you up to, brother? What's going on?
Yeah. So living in the Des Moines area up in Ankeny, work for a company called Houseby doing sales. We sell heavy equipment, so construction equipment, semi trucks, all that good stuff. Been doing it about a year and a half or so. Had a little stint in med device sales there after I was done playing ball. But yeah, have gotten back closer to home in the Des Moines area and really enjoying it. So no complaints, man. Just me and my dog and hanging out, doing fun stuff.
Do you ever miss playing football? Obviously, I'm sure you do.
My body doesn't, but my brain does. Yeah.
Right.
You probably relate to it too. Just like the competitiveness. You're looking for that outlet. Like, I don't know, man. Like
you thought about coaching?
I have. I did some stuff on the side for a while, like some private coaching, some mostly like receiver stuff. Had probably 10, 12, 15 kids maybe in Des Moines that I would work with. Not doing any right now. Just gotten really busy with work, so I haven't really had as much time. Maybe I'll pick it up this summer. I don't know. I'm doing a couple clinics that I'm working with some kids in like April. So maybe I'll pick it back up after that. It'd be nice to just like have your hand in it a little bit,
Right. So yeah, no, I've been the same way. I wanted to coach. Yeah. It's hard to find the time to do it, man.
Yeah. If you're not a teacher or something, man, it's hard to get that.
I know.
You just got to have everything perfect. I just don't think I could swing it. And then, even if I could, then I'd feel, I travel sometimes and I'd feel bad, missing practice. You can't just be missing practices on, Thursdays and Fridays and stuff because you want to go to freaking Austin with the boys,
Yeah. Right. And we got time to do it. But
yeah.
So when was the last year you were with the Bills?
Yeah, so 2019 I was there. Got picked up right after the draft. Was there all through OTAs, summer, and then all through training camp, and then through that 2019 season. And then 2020 that's when COVID hit, and we had our virtual OTAs, and then went back for training camp there in August, September, and ended up getting let go then because we didn't have any,
How do you do a virtual OTA?
Dude, when you're a bottom of the roster receiver in a room with, Cole Beasley, John Brown, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Isaiah Hodgins, like even, we had Ray McLeod and Isaiah McKenzie too, who are both, starting returners and like rotational receivers. And like, it was not a good time to suddenly not have a preseason and not have any opportunities to prove yourself, And then trying to get back on a team in 2020 was kind of a nightmare, just with the workout situation and all that. So, kind of sucked the way it ended. But, I mean, I was a shithead little walk-on kid from Newton, Iowa. So not really like I deserved in some ways, not like I deserved to be there in the first place,
Hey, you did it, though. It's freaking sick, dude.
It was incredible. So your guys' first game was against Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Your first game as a Hawkeye, Easley. And
Nick's first game as a Hawkeye was my first. We started the exact
we did. We were all in that thing together.
Yeah.
That was my first game in Kinnick Stadium.
No way.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So,
look at
the
us.
three of us. All right. As players, did you guys, I've always wondered this, did you guys have like a lead in telling you about the wave, or how did that all go down? Because as a fan,
remember we didn't even, Coop, do you remember we didn't even wave that first couple games? Or maybe it was just the first game. I can't remember when we started waving, but I remember KF talked about it, and he was like, we're going to be focused on the game, focused on, you're going to be on the bench talking to your coaches, making whatever adjustments you got to make. We're not going to be concerned. We're going to let the fans do it. And then for whatever reason, that quickly changed there a couple games after. I don't know if people, if it came from higher up that we were supposed to be waving or what it was, but I think the initial plan was not to be a part of it as a team.
Yeah, I think it was mainly a fan thing because we were supposed to be locked into the game.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it was. I'm sure Coach Ferentz had a say in being like, we should be the ones doing it too.
Yeah.
So I remember a lot of away teams, like most of the away teams didn't wave. Like it was usually just us and then the fans.
I feel like somebody did an opposing team wave like early on, and then I don't know if that happened where an opposing team waved and we didn't or something, and then it felt like we needed to. I don't know, but we were by the end of the season we were waving, weren't we?
Yeah, we definitely were waving by the end of the season because it became. Because that was a crazy year. Because that was that game against Penn State when you had that freaking catch against Apke. That was Apke, right?
Yeah, man. Only starting white corner in the NFL. It started the game as a white corner in the NFL.
And now it's
until we get Riley starting. Did Riley start a game?
No, but they're saying he's going to start.
Okay, he played a lot on special teams. I know he was hurt early in the year, which kind of affected him throughout the year.
Yeah. Apke's got size and I would say speed on Riley. But
I didn't know he was going to run a 4.3. I didn't know he was that fast.
I don't think anyone did, dude.
Yeah.
He was insane. I mean, dude, that game, I've talked about that game. The amount of talent that was in that Penn State game was absolutely absurd.
Dude, do you remember watching Saquon?
That was the most impressive game.
I have told more people about watching Saquon Barkley like on field level that day than probably any story I've ever told. Like I just remember like sitting on the sideline and just being like, how is he doing that? Like
he's not so big and he just glided.
Like me and him are both players on this field, but we're not the same species. Like we're not the same.
Well, dude, so that's the crazy part. So, like Saquon, people always ask me, like, who was the best player you played against? And I got to think about it, I'm like, Saquon.
Dude, hands down.
Dude, okay, but think about it. Because, Saquon's incredible.
Maybe he was at least just the best performance. The best performance for sure.
Yeah. But if you're talking college career and then now, Josh Allen didn't play good.
No. He did make some plays in that game. Do you remember that ball? He threw like a crazy ball from like midfield that one of their guys just like blatantly dropped in the end zone.
Yeah.
You remember that?
He didn't have a lot of weapons helping him out. That was for sure.
And he had some just like moments like when he like basically kind of, shout out Josie, love Josie, but he kind of shrugged off Josie and just like threw him to the ground and kept running.
Yeah.
That's why, because I didn't really know a lot about Josh going into that game, and obviously we weren't game planning. On the offensive side of the ball, we don't care what he's, about their quarterback. But we obviously heard he's projected to go number one or be this stud, and I didn't really know, I guess, anything about him. But I do remember he made some plays in that game where just like the talent just flashed. You're like, oh, okay, that's why he's projected to be that player.
Right. Well, so we had Saquon, Josh. I mean, Saquon, hands down the best performer. I mean, he had like 333 yards.
Yeah.
He just diced up our defense that every single person went to the NFL on.
Yeah.
That Ohio State team was
Ohio State.
I thought I'm not gonna lie. When we played Ohio State, because do you remember they played a shitload of man coverage, and they started like obviously we weren't super rolling at the receiver position. I was our leading receiver by a lot at that time, and
wasn't even close.
I remember watching on film, and Denzel Ward was sick, dude. He was awesome.
He was insane.
I remember in the meetings, they were like, Cope was like, yeah, he's probably going to follow you. He's easy. He's probably going to be all over, like follow you. He'll travel with you. And I'm like, great. I got a game on national TV versus number 2 or whatever, Ohio State. And I got to have the best corner in the country travel with me.
Well, dude, you know what's even crazier is they had Okuda too.
Yeah, dude. They were unreal.
They had Okuda. They had Bosa, who got ejected in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Chase Young.
Yeah, Chase Young. Thank God Noah and TJ decided to go for like 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. So we didn't have
Josh Jackson had 3 picks. Yeah, that was
unbelievable. God, Noah Fant was awesome that game.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Noah Fant is like obviously we've had incredible tight ends at Iowa, and TJ is one of my favorite players I've ever played with. And Noah in college, like I don't think that gets talked about enough. If you look at in college of what those players were in school at Iowa, at least the highs, I think Noah Fant was the best one.
Well, dude, the tough part is because like not a lot of people saw how athletic he was just because we didn't use him that much. I mean, we split it between him and TJ.
Yeah.
Noah was a wide receiver playing tight end.
How many touchdowns, dude? Like, especially 2017, how many touchdowns did he catch? Like a trillion.
But they were all like fade balls.
Yeah. And do you remember
to a tight end?
We used to run that angle play where we would just run him.
I love that play.
Dude, do you remember the one against Minnesota? He had a safety, I think, covering him against Minnesota, and the guy was not slow. And Noah ran like 12 yards by this guy. He wasn't even in the frame.
That was when he did the row the boat celebration.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Brian bitched him out in meetings. He's like, none of this shit.
Also, for the record, that's the play. That angle play is the touchdown that's the touchdown I scored against Wyoming.
Oh, and that's right.
Noah was the other guy crossing. And I don't know, like GPS wise, if that's the fastest I've ever run on the field. But I do think that I was running way faster than it might be because the guy who I beat in man coverage ran a 4.26 at the combine. But I ran so fast because I was the high guy. I was supposed to be above Noah.
Yeah.
And I was so scared he was going to beat me and I was going to look so slow. So I didn't even think I was getting the ball. I thought honestly more than likely it was going to go to Noah in man coverage. But I was just so scared that Noah was going to blow me out of the water and make me look slow that
you would have got so much shit.
Doing that every play.
You would have got so much shit if you'd.
Oh yeah, 100%. I couldn't get outrun by a tight end.
You know, it's only you'll remember this. Remember watching that your touchdown film when JB was running down the field and he like locked up his knee. Yeah. That was nuts, bro.
Wait, on that play.
Right, because he was running after you.
Yeah, and I felt kind of bad because I feel like I kind of cold shouldered him in the end zone.
Dude, he was fired up.
But I just didn't know. I didn't know if I got in. B, I was like on the ground and I couldn't see the ref, so I didn't know what he was signaling. And then I was just like, "What's that?"
Is that your first touchdown?
Yeah, in my first game in Kinnick, walk on at that time. Yeah, I mean, I remember sitting there on the ground and having what do I do with my hands moment. You know what I mean? I was like, well, I'm not supposed to be here right now.
Oh yeah, dude, that was insane. That year was just such a blur. 2017 was such a crazy. And the craziest part is we were a really fucking good football team.
Yeah,
we went 8-5.
Yeah.
That was with the bowl game win. We did 7-5 in the regular season.
We had a very high ceiling as a team. We just,
good together.
We lost we went to Northwestern and lost. That's sucked.
Right. Right.
And then we dropped against Purdue too, I think.
We always dropped against Purdue though.
Dude, in those 2 games, you just because we beat Ohio State. We
got stomped by Wisconsin that year too.
Oh, dude, that game! Fuck that game. That was awful.
That was when Josh Jackson had a pick 6. But That was that was freezing cold too.
Yeah, we were absolutely locked up on offense that game. We could not move the ball. That was tough.
Yeah, that was brutal. But yeah, so 2017 was nuts. I mean, we played against some crazy people. 18 was when I tore my ACL, and it was well, dude, because I was the Ohio State game. You came out of the game because you got hit in the nuts, right?
Yeah, you remember that? I was hoping we'd bring that up.
I was fucking terrified because that was my first that was my first big game I was just in, and they're like, "Coop, go in."
Yeah.
And it was like
I had freaking Russ over there checking my balls to make sure they were still there. Like, dude, it was bad. I got helmeted to the I mean, because it was that sword play that I run that play action.
Play sucked.
Boom. And I caught it right behind linebacker level. But the worst part is because, you know how when you're going over the middle, so there's two ways of getting the ball over the middle. One is you have that clock in your head. And if it's late, you probably got to body catch and shell up because you're going to get blasted. Yep. But if it's quick, a lot of times that's when you catch the ball and you get a chance to run.
Yeah.
And in my head, I can't remember what I thought the coverage was, or I don't know if I was just wide-eyed, bushy-tailed to get the ball against Ohio State, thought I was making a big play. But when Nate threw me that ball, I thought that you can see on the film how fast I was running. I thought I was catching that bitch and running for 50 yards.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, there's I think it was number 4. I can't remember who
it was. Number 4. It was number 4.
Blasted me, dude. I had no clue it was coming. And his helmet hit me square in the nuts.
Number 4 was the one who guarded me when I came in. And I'm like, dude, I don't know who that guy was. He was, I think he ended up being a decent player, but
I don't know.
I remember walking out there, and it was I had to break hot. Because they brought the near side linebacker down.
You did it though?
I broke hot and I shit my fucking pants. Because so basically we would have me and Nick were slot receivers. Nick taught me all the ways the slot. He was king slot, always has been, always will be. We had to read from our inside. If 2 guys came hot or blitzed,
you gotta break it off.
We had to change our route.
Yeah.
And
would you break the little one-step slant or something?
Yeah, you had to break it away from whatever the way the guy was playing you. So if you
that would be the worst route to get your first catch on too.
Dude, the scariest thing ever. Yeah. If he's inside of you, 2 guys break, you're coming outside because you're getting away from those guys that are coming down. If he is outside of you and both those guys break, you're taking 1 step and just replacing where those guys are blitzing from. And I'm it's my first big play in college. And I remember they called it. It was 69 because it was backside hot, and they brought both the guys. And the dude jammed me at first, and then I got past him.
Yeah.
And I remember looking, and there's just open field. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna get this ball. And I turned, and he got smoked.
Gosh.
But it was nuts, dude.
Dude, that's a scary feeling when you get the ball in your first game.
Yeah.
Do you remember I had a really weird first catch? It was against Wyoming, obviously.
Was it that catch that was behind the cornerback?
Yeah, insane. Low-key a nasty grab.
Nasty grab and nasty throw.
Yeah, dude. But it was like
that was a hell of a catch. Yeah, that was insane.
It was so out of the blue that I remember that was probably a theme of that game for me. But I caught it, and it was just a reaction, dude, because I was so nervous. I was just playing on instinct at that point. And I caught it, and I'm like, damn, I don't even remember seeing this ball. It was a great throw by Nate.
It was a hell of a catch, dude. That was I remember seeing it. I'm like, I don't even know how he saw that because it went behind the guy, and you lost vision of it.
It wasn't a back shoulder, but it was. It was very weird.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
Sorry, Forrester. Do you have any questions? We just went a huge rant.
That's all. Hey, talking ball.
Dude. I mean, me and Easley goes up the ass.
Yeah, we do, man. We had some fun times.
Yeah, we did.
Easley, damn, solidified himself as slot king in the Mississippi State game, though.
Yeah, fun time.
Okay, I will say this, and correct me if I'm wrong. I will go out there and say, I think in all of when I was there, when you left, I think the Mississippi State win was the best win we've ever had.
Dude, that team was good.
Ever. I think that team was better than when we beat Penn State when they were number 3.
Yeah.
I would argue that they were better than the Penn State team that beat us in 17.
I agree with you completely. I think if you roll, like in the sense, maybe not, I don't remember what they finished at record-wise, but if you rolled that team out versus that Penn State game, versus that Penn State team, they beat them for sure. I mean, that defense was unreal, dude, with Simmons and Sweat and Abrams, and one of their corners was a stud too. Like, those guys were all over the field.
Well, and then their quarterback, Nick Fitzgerald, was a leading rusher in the SEC.
Crazy.
The quarterback. And then, like, the run, I mean, dude, they just had, I remember seeing them, I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, they
like,
were huge.
So that was, Forrester, that was the game. I mean, you know this, but like, people, I don't know if people know this. So I tore my ACL, so I was out for that game. Spencer wasn't playing at the time, and Gersande wasn't playing at the time. So they sent 6 people to the children's hospital for like it was like activities. Like you have activities for the week, and that was one of the activities.
It's basically so they could take a bunch, you go meet with some kids and they take pictures and like a little community service bowl week event.
Yeah, and it was awesome. It was a great event. Had a great time, and it was me, Spencer, Ryan, with Fitzgerald, their long snapper, and their punter. And I want to say Abrams.
Yeah.
And then the other group was, it was Blair Brooks, Subert.
Shout out Blair Brooks, baby.
Love Blair Brooks.
Love him. Great guy.
Ben Subert, Jackson's little brother, the man. And then I don't remember who the other one was. They were with Simmons, Montez Sweat, and one of their other linebackers.
So basically, they sent their best players and their most intimidating players, and we sent guys who look like Max Cooper.
Yeah, dude, it was hilarious. And apparently that group talked shit to like Blair Brooks, Subert, like, yeah, we're gonna kick you guys' ass.
Dude, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in that room. That had to have been hilarious. Because those guys were scared, and I can't blame them. But
I would shit my pants.
I mean, dude, they're not playing in the game. They haven't played all year.
No.
They're not going to say anything back. Like that's.
I would have not known what to say. I would have been like,
yeah,
maybe you will. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I heard someone say like, yeah, they were like, yeah, man, we're not. I mean, I don't think we're playing tomorrow, so good luck.
Like, well, you might. You're going to play our other guys,
Yeah. But that was nuts. I mean, it was, and they had those fucking cowbells, which were just like
those were awful.
Abrams
hit me on a couple, like on a screen or two, because I mean, they were bringing a bunch of pressure, so Nate was throwing screens and throwing quick balls and stuff, and he hit me so hard a couple of times. Like, I think that, I mean, I know I'm not gonna, I don't want to retroactively get anybody in trouble, but I had to have Josh Synagoga, shout out Josh, he just won a ring with, he's offensive analyst over at Michigan, draw up like a couple day one plays on the whiteboard for me during that game in like the third or fourth quarter, because I was a little,
I remember that clear because your fucking chin strap came off. I remember you calling it.
I think Coop, you probably, well, you would have been out, but I think maybe Nico almost had to go in the game, or did. I think he did go in at some point.
He went for like 1 or 2 plays.
Yeah, because I was out there getting blasted, man.
Dude, yeah, that was. And those of you who don't know these guys, I'm sure most of you do, but Abrams went 25th overall in the draft that year.
Yeah.
Simmons is one of the best D-line. I think he plays for the Dolphins.
Titans. Yeah.
Titans. Montez Sweat is one of the best D linemen. Is he the Bears now?
He's on the Bears
now.
He was the Commanders,
and also all of those guys, like all time first team get off the bus players. Like they all look like first round draft picks.
Like Montez Sweat was 6'7", 290.
Dude
was like 6'4", 340 or something.
I remember distinctly looking. So the first snap of the game, I lined up in the slot, and I was like kind of close to the line. So I was like pretty close to Sweat or whoever it was, and they were Sweat was standing up and Simmons was standing up, and I'm like, how are we going to block these guys? Like, who on our team is blocking these guys right now?
They were giant. I remember when that Sweat got pushed out of bounds into our sideline, and he was like half a player taller than every single person on our sideline.
And he runs like a 4.5.
Yeah, it was insane. It was absurd. And then, like, I will say, when I saw like Fitzgerald was big. He's a tall quarterback. He's like 6'5".
Yeah.
He could spin it.
Yeah.
But their receivers were like all 6'4" plus.
They were like
So
tall, lanky guys.
We're fucked. Like these guys are going to just jump ball us every single play, and he couldn't put it on him.
No, he did not. He didn't.
He couldn't throw the ball or shit.
I will say Jonathan Abrams he was a great college player. Not a good man coverage player. I will give it to anytime, anywhere. Jonathan Abrams 1-on-1 in the slot. Don't touch me, but I'll beat you on any route. And also, he would just do some things that were like I mean, he's probably a great guy and everything, but like he would flip his eyes inside while he was playing man coverage, like on the slot, which is literally what he did on that play that I caught the touchdown on. We lined up in, they played man coverage, and usually a guy who's playing man, if you don't know, lines up in front of you if he's playing press man in the slot, and you can tell he's playing man because his eyes are on you. Yeah. And he's square inside or outside leverage, depending on what they're playing. And he had his eyes inside on the quarterback, and I'm like, what are they playing? Because that's a weird indicator to get, or weird thing to get out there. And then I'm like, they're definitely playing man coverage, except for he's playing the run. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I think a couple times I tried to block him, and he just ran inside. And I'm like, okay, so if I have to release on a pass play, I'm just going to act like I'm trying to block him and go. And all I did was, especially because that play was a play action play.
Yeah, that was just a Fenway. It was a shatter, right?
Yeah, shatter backside. We were running something for TJ on the front side.
Yeah.
And I just basically just sat there and acted like I was going to, let him beat me on a run block. And he just took himself out of the play.
Dude, I think they were, most of their team was going for like knockout blows. Like they were trying
100%.
They were trying to make the big play. They're trying to make the showy play. Like he was going for either a pick or a knockout.
Yeah.
And yeah. Okay. Have you ever thought about, I mean, obviously, thank God this didn't happen. What would have happened what would have gone through your head if he would have chased you down and tackled him at the 5?
Well, what kind of pissed me off was people kept saying like, well, good thing the field wasn't 20 yards longer. And I'm like, okay, when have we ever played football on a 120-yard field? Never. So the field is never going to be 20 yards longer.
Facts.
I do, man, I would like to say that I was easing up a little bit, but I wasn't. He was just faster than me.
I will say that guy was cooking.
And I'm not going to lie, my hamstring was pretty tight at that time. So like I was pretty good inside of 25 yards, but those extended strides, like those were not my strength at that time.
Dude, absolutely. Would you have been more upset that you didn't score the touchdown, or the fact that you would have had to watch on film with the whole receiver room laughing at you?
Well, last game, probably no touchdown. I needed to score, man. I had to score.
That's fair.
You got to go out, especially, man, that we needed it at that time too. We weren't moving the ball. We needed a big play, and I mean, there was no way I wasn't. Even if he would have caught up to me, I wasn't. I had to get in. I was going to find a way into the end zone.
I mean, that game, it was literally like all just because we had no penalties. That was why. I mean, that was nuts.
Yeah,
we had no penalties. They had like 3 for like 45 yards.
Yeah.
And that is literally like what won us. It was because we made all the big plays. Like we needed.
Dude, there were just some funny plays that game, just because based on how they were playing, it was a fun game to play in too. Just because they played a bunch of man coverage too, which was awesome because we didn't always see that because nobody wanted to match up with our tight ends, and so that was man coverage. The second touchdown that I scored on a little archer play where KG and B. Smith both had super good blocks in the end zone there.
Right. Yeah.
That was man coverage. Amir's touchdown on that. We ran that tight split 4 vertical play. I think it was Augusta or something.
Augusta, yeah.
And dude, that play was so screwed up. Me and Amir both ran the wrong routes on both sides of the field, but we were both wide open. We would have both scored on that play.
Yeah, it was, dude. There was so many because I think Hawkinson. I don't know why I'm calling him Hawkinson. TJ
Yeah.
got the ball once.
Yeah, he didn't do much all game.
He had like a 70-yard run because he got spun up tackle, went up to the sideline.
I would have to go. It's been a long time since I've rewatched it. Contrary to popular belief, I don't watch my old highlights very often. But I think that play that TJ had, the long one at the end, I know what you're talking about. We needed a couple first downs, really bad. We couldn't, we had scored points, but we needed like a 4-minute-ish drive, and we weren't getting anything. And then he caught a ball and just threw a couple guys down and ran for a ball. It was a huge play in the game.
And then Gervais got that absolute gift of a pick.
Gervais is the king of gift picks, bro. Unreal.
He's in the best spot at the best.
He is, man. You can't take it from him, but at the same time,
I love Gervais, and he worked his ass off, and he made it very far in the off. He's still kicking butt.
What a guy.
He's a ring. He has a
Super Bowl. It's crazy, man.
But that guy had the greatest, anytime a quarterback overthrew a ball,
it would pop up in Gervais' hands.
Yeah.
It would show up.
Yeah. I fucking love Gervais.
He was awesome, man. He's a great story.
The welcome to college football play for me, I will say this forever. Freshman year, there's a couple hits. I remember, and actually this is perfect. So my freshman year, remember we had the scrimmage during camp, and it was under the lights at our practice field.
Yeah. And it was towards the end of camp, you have the live scrimmage type of thing.
Yeah, at Forrester, it was when all the students had the U Iowa welcome orientation, and they get a picture of the field. So it's
you guys are over there fucking talking about going to Summit. We're over there sweating our asses off in the football facility. I'm over there dying.
There's fireworks, and it looks like a blast. And we're fucking getting our shit rocked. I remember I came around. I got a jet sweep. Come around the corner. It was live. A couple plays were live. Got a jet sweep. OJ fucking rocked me. And I remember it wasn't that was the first time where I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. I had to get up and I was I didn't know where I was for a second. Yeah. Fast forwarding, the craziest hit I've ever seen was when OJ knocked out Mississippi State's running back unconscious.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
It was the loudest and craziest hit I have ever seen. It was just it wasn't an out of nowhere hit. It was two forces coming as fast as they could, and OJ just knocked him unconscious. I remember seeing it because OJ doesn't. I liked him as a player a lot, just a good long arm, lanky corner. Yeah, but he wasn't a at all times big hitter. No. But randomly he would lay the wood, dude. I don't know if he if he would just get mad or something, but like Jack, he would be a traditional corner where he's making tackles, but maybe they're he's thinking about making business decisions and not he's not sticking his nose in every time. And I'm not blaming anybody for that, but randomly, dude, I don't know if it was when Phil Parker was pissed at him or whatever it was, he would destroy people. I can't describe to you how I've never seen an impact like that. Maybe ever. Yeah. It was so loud. It was that's when you realize okay, I understand how people have head trauma in football. Yeah. Yeah. I think he broke his helmet. Coop, do you think my welcome to it was a little different for me because I was a transfer, but my welcome to Iowa moment was the block drill. Wide receiver DB. Talking about fucking block drill. At least you did good in block drill. I was 160 pounds. You're 195. At least you could get under people. I'm fucking going up there like this. God, you used to get bodied in the block drill. I felt bad for you because I didn't come. I was a blocking receiver. Here was my only beef with the block drill, and I understand we play football. Describe the block drill for. All right, Jack. So has Coop told you about this?
I believe a year ago, though.
All right. So literally, and they to their credit, we took it in, and I think that was the only thing in college that I ever bitched a lot about was the blocks drill, just because I thought it was fucking ridiculous. It was stupid as fucking drill. Were they still doing it when you're in your last year or no? No, they stopped my last year. Crazy. Because I know Cope I mean, I know Cope knows that it's stupid.
Yeah.
Shout out Cope. But so, Jack, we would stand a receiver here and a DB here, 5 yards away from each other, right? And you would literally just run at each other and just literally you would just like there was no breakdown, there was no attempt to avoid the collision. It was just boom. And at one point, Miles Taylor used to be hell to go against in that drill because Miles Taylor, great guy, like him,
great guy,
he can't cover a soul, but could just fucking he's a hard hitter. And he would come into that thing like with his head like this. And I like paused it on film a couple times where I was like, Cope, what? Like, if a guy ever does this to me in a game, I'm just going to stand there and get out of the way, and he's going to run himself into the ground. Like, no one's playing a block like that. No one's making a tackle like that. Like, it was dumb. And
dude, there was a worse drill. I don't know were you there when we did perimeter drill?
Yeah, perimeter drill sucked too.
This was worse.
With screens, all the screens.
This is what I don't get.
Yeah,
I don't understand how DBs can complain. Because first off, they hold the fuck out of you.
Yeah,
and like get away with it.
Yeah,
and I will say this: DB is the hardest position to play in college
for sure.
Not even it's for sure. I'd take that. It's harder than quarterback.
Yeah.
But
it's a great place to play it at Iowa because you're in the best scheme possible. I mean, you're going to be in the most advantageous positions possible
every time.
Yeah,
hold the shit out of you. The drills are set up for you to win.
Yeah,
and like that drill's fucked. And like Nick's huge. Nick is a big fucking dude. I came in like skinny as shit, and I was not ready to block a soul. I was fully prepared to go into college not touching anyone on a block play.
You like most receivers, you like to play flag football. Yeah.
Yep. So going up against a Monty Hooker and a 5-yard block drill when I'm 160 pounds wasn't fun.
Yeah.
I remember going up against Snyder when he came back from his injury. And the dude had been working out for 6 months straight.
Yeah. He was like a little muscle hamster.
Bro, he was overflowing out of his pads.
And why were you going up against that? Was a terrible matchup for you.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't choose that. They go, who's up? And then they point at me and I'm like, dude, what? Like
the only thing that I feel like we finally got right about that drill towards the end was I feel like there was somewhat of a, I don't know. There wasn't as many guys coming in with their heads like this.
There's an agreement.
But we got the matchups better too. That was big. Like B. Smith was going against Amani Hooker or Gervais or whatever. You know, we were going big on big and smaller. At least we weren't going you on Gervais, you know?
Yeah, that was
like, dude, I was actually like, that was the only thing my senior year, I was pretty beat up and I had like a broken bone in my wrist and Cope told me I didn't have to do the blocks drill. And at one point, I was like, "Thank God for this broken bone in my wrist."
It's actually like if you didn't have to do the block. I remember going into practice, it'd be 25, 30 minutes to practice. The whole first 25, 30 minutes.
All you're thinking about is blocks.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
Freaking out.
Yeah.
I couldn't focus on catching a football on air because I was so scared. I was scared. I was genuinely scared. And like, it was.
I know you were scared. I know. I could see it.
I thought I was going to snap a finger. I'm like going into like. I just get, oh gosh. Dude. So, Forrester, or also another thing, Kayvon loves to be like, dude, I fucking kicked your ass in block drills. Kayvon, do you think I give a fuck? Like, I did not try in that drill. I hated blocking people.
You were just trying to survive.
I was trying to survive, and I torched your ass on one-on-ones. I'll take it to the grave. Welcome to the show.
Exactly, man.
Yeah, we killed every time we killed him in one-on-ones. All the receivers kicked ass in one-on-ones.
Block drill was insane, man. That's the most.
And then they input a new drill called perimeter drill, which was literally you act as a slot receiver. The quarterback throws behind you to another receiver who is running a screen, and the DB is like 7 yards away, just running full steam at you. Yeah. Well, you have to block him. And it's like, what is this accomplishing? Like,
listen, so if you're playing a football game, obviously there's going to be like. If you run a screen, you know, the outside receiver out here does a little little now screen and the slot guy comes to block. Obviously, that DB is going to have some sort of a recognition, like he's going to see that and trigger. But he also has to respect the fact that you could do a little slip. You could he's thinking about other things. He's not just, hey, it's a screenplay. When this whistle's blown, I'm triggering as fast as I can.
Yeah.
And that's what perimeter drill was. Correct me if I'm wrong, is an immediate trigger on a screenplay, which, to be honest with you, is probably the easiest play in the world to make as a DB.
Yeah. It was.
I mean, it's like, absurd. It's not even.
Yeah. We had a lot of things. We had a lot of things that by the time Nick was almost done and I was like a junior, they'd fixed it and it got a little better. Yeah. Like freshman year was just a trial and error. Like everything in practice was just a shit show. It was fucked, dude. And honestly, I'll say the best for last because I know we've been talking a lot of ball. I mean, we had Penn State, we lost. Crazy game against Saquon. Beat Ohio State. The end of 2017, we had the fucking Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah.
Field was frozen.
Yeah.
Heaters broke in the sideline.
You remember when that Boston College guy caught on fire? Yeah, Jack. So there was a guy I would have to go watch it to remember exactly what happened, but we had to stop the game, I think, for a minute. There was a guy on Boston College. I think he was wearing one of those long, those coats that you see people wear on the sidelines that are really long, like the overcoats that go over your pad. I think the bottom end of his coat got into the heater, like into the fucking flame heater thing, and it was on fire. There was a fire on their sidelines.
Dude, that happened, and this sucks, but the kicker for the BC, their starting kicker tore his ACL in warmups because he slipped on the field.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yes, that's how slippery it was. Everyone changed into tennis shoes at halftime to try and counteract. The field was literally an ice rink. I'm not kidding you, an ice rink.
It was the worst thing. So the first route of warmups, we went on to little routes on air.
That was fucked.
I slipped, I ran a 5-yard hitch, and I put my foot in the ground and just slipped and just fell on my ass. And I was like, this is going to be a long day. This is going to be hell. Also, needs to be talked about. And so one of my buddies that I played in Buffalo with, great dude, tight end, Tommy Sweeney for BC. We both want to know, why was Akram Wadley the only player in that game that wasn't affected by the icy field?
I don't know, dude. I remember
he was unbelievable, dude. He won because he was the MVP of the game, and he couldn't he returned 3 kickoffs because we hadn't returning kicks that game, which honestly made me wonder why we didn't have returning kicks the entire time. But he returned 3 kicks to the plus 20 or 30. He was averaging 60 yards a kickoff return, and it was he was running full speed and everyone else wasn't. I don't know how he was doing it.
It's because he was so light. He was so tiny that when he would make a move, there was no weight going with it.
Yeah. So I asked him at halftime, I'm like, Ak, what cleats are you wearing? How is this working for you? And we had the same cleats on. I'm like, what? How is this? We're not playing on the same surface right now.
Dude, that game was nuts. And it was. And then we weren't, as receivers, and this never changed. We weren't allowed to wear sleeves. So that game was negative. I don't know. I remember that diving catch you made that was the huge first down to Did that hurt?
Yes. And also, do you remember? So I didn't practice in that bowl prep.
Yeah, you fucking asshole. That was.
I had a broken ribs and a collapsed lung in the last game of the year at Nebraska. They tried to kill me.
I remember seeing you in the hospital. And you're like, yeah, they stuck a 2-foot long needle down my lung.
Yeah, bro, it was crazy. And I was halfway dead the entire bowl prep. Also that story is nuts. I had broken the ribs and collapsed the lung in the Nebraska game, and then got checked out after the game because at one point, so I went back into the football game with a collapsed lung. I would like that to be pointed out. I got an end around which when I saw the play call come in, I was like, what? A, Brian, why are you giving me an end around? And B, like, not right now, please. Like, Amir, can you come in the game? And I go home after, I think actually on the sideline, because I got the end around. I actually had a nice little play. I looked kind of fast on film on it. It was cool. I duck out of bounds, and it was at like the 10-yard line. And I think Brian was literally trying to get me a touchdown. And I go to the sideline, and because that was when he was calling plays from the sideline, he was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why did you do that? And I was like, I couldn't talk because I was so out of breath. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, figure it out. Figure it out. And I think we had been up, 25 points at this point. He was just like, okay, you're done. But I go get an x-ray there and get checked out. And they're like, yeah, nothing's wrong with you. You have broken ribs, but you've had those, they're basically like, you're just being a pussy. And I was like, I know I'm not being a pussy. Like, I know something's wrong with me. I go home with my friends actually, from that game, because it's the last game of the year. I go out in Omaha, like I was out drinking and like getting after it the night, that night just felt like something was so off the entire time. Like, I think at one point I like walked a couple blocks and I was like huffing and puffing, and my friends are like, I thought you were a Division I athlete. Why are you huffing and puffing after 2 blocks, And I go home, I'm on the couch, like laid up all weekend, can't breathe. And then I go on Monday, we had you remember we used to have those little shakeout runs or whatever?
Yeah.
So I go in there, and obviously we had Doyle at the time. Shout out CD. We start doing the warm up. And at this point, I know something's wrong with me, like for sure. And I think I said something to him beforehand. I'm like, hey, I don't know what's going on. He being Doyle, he's like, you'll be all right. And I think we do like high knee karaoke for 15 yards or 20 yards, and I can't breathe. And I'm like warming up. It's on the near end of the, like where you walk in the indoor from the hallway. Yeah. And we go down to the 20-yard line, and then we come back to the goal line, and I just pieced out. I was like, I look at Doyle and I just go, and I go and I run to the training room. I like walk, and I walk into the training room, and I'm like, you guys got to figure out what's wrong with me, because there's something wrong with me. And they take me over to sports med, and I'll never forget Dr. Peterson. I love Dr. Peterson. His face when he looked at the x-ray, he was like, you've had collapsed lung for like 4 days, buddy. Just like,
dude, that is,
thank you.
Classic. They didn't figure that out. Dude, that was, it was just crazy because that Nebraska game was such a shit. Like, we were killing them.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was the first game I ever had a punt return.
Yeah. I remember you went in at the end.
I'm with Mark Sanchez butt fumble.
Yeah, you ran into your own guy.
I ran into KG.
Yeah.
I ran into his butt, and I just fell backwards.
That's awesome.
And I also got fucking tossed into this. I ran it out, a fucking 5-yard out.
Okay.
And their linebacker followed me, grabbed me by the back of the shoulder pads, and just threw me into their sideline.
Jesus Christ.
And I remember I got off, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, I'm not getting the ball.
Yeah. That was like I think I remember watching that on film. That was like a classic Nebraska team. And that was Mike Riley's last game. But like, that was like a classic Nebraska. Like, they had good players. Like, I think they had maybe young Cam Taylor-Britt, who's like a good corner in the NFL. Like,
that's who it was.
Was it?
Yes, dude.
He's kind of a dog. I don't know why. He's a good player. Yeah. But they had that Lamar Jackson, not the Lamar Jackson, but their Lamar Jackson, number 21, with the longest. So, Jack, he was a corner, and I swear he was like 6'3", 6'4", the longest arms, dude. He would just he had like those arms that you see on those blow-up dolls, or those things that they put in front of like car dealerships that flap around in the wind. I mean, his arms were just freaking insane. And I mean, they had like guys, but they just were terrible.
It is classic. There's no culture. They can't figure it out.
Yeah.
They absolutely can't. Jack, sorry. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, sorry. We're
reminiscing.
God, I love it. What about when Iowa State called? I did have a question on that.
Yeah,
they were before Iowa.
They were. So yeah, for those who don't know, I committed to the University of Iowa State before I committed to the University of Iowa. Was committed there for like, I don't know, like a few weeks, a month, something like that. To be honest with you, so it was a cool deal. So Tyler Barnes, he's still in the same position. It was like Christmas. I was Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, 26, which would have been 2016. I am set to enroll at Iowa State that second semester. So that January term. So like, I don't know, 20 days from then. I'm sitting there hanging out with my brother, and I get a DM from Tyler Barnes like, hey man, congrats on first team junior college All-American. Looks like you had a great year. And I was random as hell. I had never heard from him, prior to that. And I showed my brother, and, we're huge Iowa fans. So like, to be honest with you, at that time, that moment, I knew what he was angling for, obviously. And I was probably the easiest sell of all time. I was like already in. And anyway, within the next like 3 days, basically, I get on the phone with Coach Morgan, Coach Ferentz. They were actually at the Outback Bowl playing Florida that year, and they were down in Tampa. And within like 3 days, I decided that I was gonna enroll at the University of Iowa in like 15 days, and showed up on campus, and the rest is history.
Dang, fuck Iowa State.
Yeah. Matt Campbell gave me a interesting phone call actually after that, but kind of ridiculous because they had like, the reason I was pissed at Iowa State is because they had offered like 2 or 3 kids on my Iowa Western team who were like not as good as me, and they were offering them scholarships, and I was coming as a walk-on. And so in the back of my head, I was already, kind of pissed off about that. And then once I got the opportunity to not do that, not to go there, I was all in. And then I got this, and I scored in my first game against Iowa State.
That was electric.
So,
well, are we allowed to pick at what Matt Campbell said? Because when Amir came on, he was our last guest. He took down PJ Fleck himself.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I don't think it was as hard of a sell because I was coming as a walk-on. So they weren't like counting on me like they would Amir, Amir was a little more of a blue chip recruit than I was. Don't know how that happens. How would you miss me? But I think he called me. I wish I remembered better, but I think he was getting at, he's like, well, you're going to play here, which was true. I would have played there. But I think I was like, well, then why aren't you giving me a scholarship? And of course, it was the classic, well, we don't have any more left, which I'm sure they offered like 700 kids, But I think he essentially was like, well, they're not even going to throw the ball. You'll never get the ball, whatever. I don't know. I had already made the decision so solidly that I think he probably sensed that of, hey, this kid's not coming. So
this kid's gonna be us 5 years in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny because they had Lazard, Purdy, Breece Hall, David Montgomery.
Yeah.
And still couldn't do shit.
Yeah, they had guys, man.
They still figured out a way to lose that game every single year.
Yeah, Hakeem Butler was a good player. Burned the shit out of your boss on the double move.
That's right, bro. He was like their big time receiver.
Yeah, he was good, man.
And he was a bust in the NFL.
Yeah, he's trying to play like tight end. I think he's still trying to play tight end or something.
He's like a Juwan Johnson.
Nick, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Now you have to come visit us again.
Just rambling.
Oh, it's awesome.
Talking shop, man. That's what we're here for.
That's right. You got to visit. We'll have another reunion at the Crow.
Yeah, dude. We'll take down Old Crow again. We'll try to drink him out of beer one more time.
Let's go.
So yeah, man. I'll have to get over to Chicago, and thank you boys for having me. It was a lot of fun, and we'll have to get together soon. I'll come on over.
Absolutely, brother.
So, all right, fellas.